everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I mix, marbleize, whatever this is called, my candles. Now it's not the normal way of doing things where it's like a solid color and it's like green and red, and the red will be one scent and the green will be another. This is all the same scent, and I just wanted to do something that was a little bit different but still would draw people in. Make it look very eye-opening, making people want to actually open it and smell it because they wonder why that candle looks like that and what it smells like. So I'm going to be showing you a few different ones, and I'm going to be showing you how I make it. So really quick, this is my blueberry cobbler, and it's blue at the bottom and white. I'm sorry, it's blue at the top and white at the bottom. And then this one is my ghoul cookie, and it is black at the top and purple at the bottom. I wanted it to be kind of like that, like perfect Halloween candle where it gets a little spooky type of thing. And this is what I'm going to be showing you today. This is my caramel apple. Yes, I say caramel, don't hate me. But this is green and brown. Now my thought process for this whole thing was, you know the caramel apple suckers during Halloween time that you usually get? I guess you can get it any time of the year, but it's the caramel apple suckers. And I loved the green with the brown for the caramel. And I thought it was perfect. It would make people wonder what the candle smelled like. And honestly, if you smell it, it smells exactly like them. So I'm going to be showing you how I do this today. And as you can see, I have another one here. They're completely different. This one is more green with a little bit of brown, and this one is more brown with a little bit of green. So each one of them will be different, and I liked the idea of doing it like this because it looks a little bit more homemade, and the thought that went into it's just different. So I'm going to be showing you how I make these. I have a few of them. I have my hurricane, and I've actually been doing this with a few scents, and it's been doing really, really good. Now I'm going to be warning you, this is a very fast process. You have to do everything, and the timing has to be completely right. So I'm going to try to explain it as best as I can in the video. If I mess up at all or you have any questions, please leave them down below because it gets really confusing. Like I said, it's very fast. You have to work with two different colors and have two different scents and make sure one is poured and has enough time to like cool. It's confusing. I'll show you in the video, and I'll try to explain the best way I can, but once you get it done, it becomes super easy to do any other time, and I love doing it. Honestly, I've done this to a few candles, and I've only gotten good things. So, if you would like to see how I do whatever to these, what should I call this? Marble? Mix? Blend? I guess you can't say blend. I don't know. I'll think of the name. You'll see. But yeah, if you would like to see how I make these, then go ahead and keep on watching.
So before we go forward, we have to go backwards. And that's me struggling to get this wax that was melted together into the melting pot. So if you guys would like to see a video on how I actually make candles, I will link that down below, or I'll make something pop up or something so that way you guys can see. But all of this is the exact same as what I do in my actual video, so I'm just showing you a little bit of a flashback from my last video. So instead, let's go on to the actual stuff. So now I'm gonna have two melters going, and all I have is 1 pound each. If you guys watch my original video, I put in 2 pounds of wax per pourer. But this time I'm only doing 1 and 1 because we are going to be mixing them. And everything is going to be the exact same as in my how to make candles video. Like I said, I will post it either down below or put it up above in like a little card thing. That way you guys can click on it and you can watch to see how I make those candles and the temperatures and things like that. I would say it in this video, but as you know me, if you're new, hi, welcome. But I do talk a little too much in these voiceover videos, so I'm trying to make sure we smooth it out and I'm not jumping and trying to rush to say everything that I need to say. So yeah, if you guys would like to check out that video, that way you get a little bit of a more understanding, then go ahead and check that out. I'll leave them somewhere around here. So what I like to do is take them off like one at a time. That way one is a little bit hotter than the other one. Since there's only going to be 1 pound of wax in each, it will cool a lot quicker. So it doesn't take usually an hour. It usually takes about 30 minutes. And with me constantly mixing it and then mixing in the fragrance oil and trying to get the dye perfect color, it does go a lot quicker. So like I said, this does move very, very quick. So I usually take them off, like 1 minute will be like 5 minutes before the other, if that makes sense. So as you can see right here, now I'm taking off the second one. So try to make sure that you do that just so that one is just a little bit hotter. And I'm going to show you 2 ways at the end on how I do it. That way you can kind of see the difference, but you can also kind of see how each of them do, if that makes sense. You know, I say if that makes sense a lot in these videos, and I think I make sense. Let me know if I don't make sense. How many times can I say sense in one sentence? See, there's another one. Sentence. Don't ask. So this is my dye basket, and I keep it in the basket, and I also put it on this towel because these dyes go everywhere and they stain everything. So I recommend putting a towel underneath, 2 towels, 3 towels, whatever. Put on gloves because you will stain your hands and you don't want to stain like the jars and everything else. So I usually put on gloves because the dye is just insanely pigmented and it will dye everything it touches. So what I do is I put on some gloves, and then right here I'm going to be putting on the brown for the caramel. Oh, is that the green? Nope, see, I'm pulling the brown right there. See, I knew. And then what I do is I will slowly drip in certain amounts. It depends on the dye. I have dyes from 20 different places. Some of them are super, super pigmented, some of them not so much. And I will just kind of go slowly because I don't want to overdo it. Now, if you're using like purples or anything like that, sometimes they can come out pink. So I test them very slow. I only drop in a few drops, and then what I do is I stir it, make sure the color's all mixed in, mixed well together, and then I use a paper plate. The reason I use paper plates is because the dye does come out more of a true color than if I were to use like a napkin or things like that. Plus, I don't want the dye to get on my actual plates. So paper plates work out really, really good. See, that's how much dye gets on your fingers. That's why I wear gloves. And then, yeah, so what I'll do is I'll take the spoon, no fragrance oil in it. Don't waste the fragrance oil. Don't put it in first. I will take the spoon, mix it up, then put it onto the plate, let it dry, and see if I like that color. If I don't like the color, then I go in with more dye. If the color is perfect, then I leave it as is. I wait for it to cool down. I say this in the original video, and then I will add my fragrance oil. It's the best thing you can do. That way the fragrance oil doesn't burn off while you're waiting for the wax to cool. Then that way when you have your candle going, it's not going to have not as much fragrance. So as you can see right here, that's what I do. Just one little drop. I'm not wasting anything. And then I will wait for it to dry. And then I will see if that's the color I want to keep. Then you add in your fragrance oil. This one's Caramel Apple from Lonestar. If you guys have not tried it, I recommend it. It has been one of my best sellers. It legit smells like a caramel apple. Yes, I say caramel. I don't say caramel. Sue me. I think I even still just said caramel, not caramel. And then I just add it in as normal. Now here's the part that we're going to start to go really, really fast. So first things first is you are going to line up all of your jars. Make sure they're wicked and ready to go. And then we are going to pour kind of off in each one, if that makes sense. Like, we're not going to do a perfect pour. Some are going to be very tiny. Some are going to be majority. So as you will see, some of them I do like a small amount. Some of them I do like a medium amount. Some of them I do like a lot of an amount. That way, each one is different. Now, I did end up doing 2 of these when I was filming because this was cooling quicker than I can keep up with. This is what I mean. It goes really, really fast. So it's a constant working. And the reason why I was messing up so much is because I was also filming. So I was having to move the camera and do all of that. But usually I don't have the camera going. I'm working 2 different melting pots at the exact same time. But as you can see, they're kind of getting poured at different times. And then what I do is I have the other one ready to go. And then I pour it in, because right now everything that's touching the outside of the glass, or just the glass, is already starting to cool. So because of that, it will make like a brown coating over the jar, and even if you pour in the green, it will start to come up, if that makes sense. Like it will start to, the green will be more in the middle instead of on the outsides as well. You'll see in a second. And I apologize if you can hear my dog clicking in the background. He's getting up, walking around right now. But so then what I do right here, I usually already have the green ready, but like I said, I was filming, so I'm rushing at this point. Same process. You put the dye in, you check the color, you throw the fragrance oil in. At this point, this melting pot was already cooling down, so throwing the fragrance oil in and stuff was a quick process. I stirred it up for about 2 minutes. Sometimes if it gets a little too hot, you can throw them back onto the pot for like a quick second, just to make sure that they're cool enough, hot enough, but not too hot. We don't want to lift up the glue from the wick, or if you have the stickers, we don't want it to lift anything, and sometimes they can. But if you need to get them a little bit hot, just throw them back on for like literally 2 seconds just to get it a little bit hot. And then what I do is I mix it around, like I said, for about 2 minutes, fragrance oil, dye, everything, and then I pour it right on top. Usually both are pretty warm at that point, but right now I'm going to show you how this batch comes out, which is the cooler batch, and then I'm going to show you how my hotter batch is. And then I'm also going to show you what it looks like. So you'll see in a second, but if I'm making sense, I hope I am. Like I said, this is a very, very fast process, so I'm hoping that if I don't explain it right, you guys can watch the video and kind of understand what I'm talking about. But just know that usually when I'm not filming, I have both pots going at the exact same time. There is not one after the other. I just take them off at 2 different times just so that one stays a little bit hotter. But these are both going, like I have both of them going at the exact same time. So this is what I'm talking about right here. You see how the brown is already starting to cool down. So it's starting to coat the glass. So sometimes when you pour them, this brown, this lighter brown, will start to flow up and the green will just stay in the middle. And we don't want that to happen. We want them to kind of marbleize together. It does happen sometimes. I mean, if it's a big deal, I don't really know. To me, it's not. I like that there's a variety, because some of them I have where it's like majority brown and you just see the green in the middle. And then some of them I have green and you just see a little bit of brown in the middle. You can, which I do for some candles, where I will do the brown at the bottom and then the green. And then the next batch, I will do the green at the bottom and then the brown. So you could do it whichever way you want. This is a little bit later after it's already cooled. One of the jars at the end, I ran out. So what I will do is sometimes I will add a little bit of extra brown or a little extra green and make it look completely different than the rest, kind of more layered. But as you can see, the one on the end right there has a lot more green and the other ones are a lot more brown. It just depends. But this batch that I'm pouring right here was not super hot, but it was warmer. So this is what it's going to look like when that happens. It's kind of a roll of the dice on this one. It comes out the way it wants to. So it's kind of just a toss-up. Sometimes they will come out where they're perfectly marble. Sometimes they won't. But I will go, this is the brown. This is all the brown wax. And then I will go in with the green like right now. I'm not stopping the camera. I'm literally showing you like real time exactly how it's gonna go. We're waiting patiently. Patiently. Patiently for me to come back on screen. And here I am. So then I will, this is how it goes. Then I pour in the green and then I just let it sit. I'm going to show you a time lapse in a second. But yeah, usually I work like double time when I'm doing this, and they are usually on the warmer side. Like I said, the first batch behind it, that one was more of the cooler batch. And then this one is more of the warmer batch when you pour them at a little bit of a warmer temperature. Not so crystallized. We want them kind of warm. And yes, you will get air bubbles because you did pour them warm, but that's okay. I do show you how to fix that. That will be another video I link down below. That way you guys can watch it if you ever get air bubbles. But I'm going to show you a time lapse. As you can see, they are starting to cool down, but do you see what I'm talking about? How it looks brown at the bottom and then it looks kind of faded as it goes up to the top. That's what happens when the wax that is touching the glass cools, and then you pour it in and then it kind of bubbles upwards, flows upwards, so it does coat even more of the glass. So sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. If it does, that's completely okay. Don't worry about it. It gives it character. They're all different. They're all unique. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about doing these candles. They've done so well for me, and I hope you guys give it a try. I definitely do. It's so much fun.
And that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you guys haven't already. And let me know how you've been liking these candle videos. Like I said, I still have a few in mind, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.